All right, Grant, pre-show shenanigans today. There has been something I'm sure that you have seen going around on Twitter. Obviously, transfer portal's open right now. Obviously, college athletes are moving about. But Grant, the transfer portal has infiltrated a new league, a new division of athletics. Pee Wee football, 7-on-7. There is a
Oh yeah, I
apparently
saw this. I saw this. Yeah, I know what you're
there's
referring
a
to.
there's a post going around. I don't know how old this kid is. He's playing, I guess, 6U, so six. Um, um, Going around, and it's obviously like stuff made up, like 5 star or whatever. Like, there's no 5 star. If you're gullible enough to think that there's a 5 star rating for a 6U player, that is a bigger concern.
Yeah,
But
the
my
only
favorite thing
instance I
is
can remember of like a teenager being a 5 star was when Lane Kiffin, when he was head coach of USC, offered a 12-year-old quote unquote 5 star quarterback
look.
a scholarship to USC. I do not believe that guy played college football, but yes.
It is first of all, I want to just say it is surprising to me that baby Gronk's dad has yet to do this. This is the first time that I've seen this. Like, you'd expect this kind of thing out of baby Gronk. But the other thing is, my favorite part of this is it's written all like an actual, like, thank you so
Oh yeah.
much,
Oh
like,
yeah.
to everybody, like, thank you to my coaches. Like, it's clearly the 6-year-old did not write this. Like,
No,
it'd
yeah.
be
The thing
better if
is,
it was in like
oh,
crayon
oh,
and stuff.
that
But
would have been
but
hilarious if it was a writ like whenever you see those like NFL draft guy gets drafted and they show like what he wrote
but
as what I want to be in first grade when I grow up, like that. I want it to be that.
but here's my more favorite part of this. First of all, it goes 4 foot
I hope
four
this kid's
inches.
favorite player is Bear Alexander. That would be perfect.
It has his like height and weight. It says 4 foot four, 49 pounds. He's locked in, 49 pounds locked in. But my other favorite part, my other favorite part is it goes
49 pounds is so little. Holy.
with 1 year of eligibility remaining to play 6U for the 2025 season.
So
What
he's
do you mean?
five. So
What do you
he's
mean? So he's
five.
playing. He's 5 years old. Like,
Six
how is
U six U implies only under six. That implies the
yeah?
second you turn six, you're not allowed to
You're
play
done.
anymore. So, well, Everett, with that in mind, I don't know if that 6U, if that date is at the end of the season, you have to
I,
still be under six. But if that's true, if that's the case, then Everett, this kid may be 4 years old.
I'm just kind
Oh
of
my God.
confused. When you and I were growing up, you obviously we play tackle football. You play tackle football, but the way you and I were raised is you start off, you play flag football, and then the kids who actually were good at flag football continue to tackle football, or you're just friends of like
It would
the
be
parent
either
coach.
that, it's either that or your parents played football at a young age and let you
But like,
play
for the
when you're
most
young.
part, at least for me, it would be like you don't play tackle until like
Minnesota, I
four.
can understand that's a whole different ballpark though.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
feel like
I
every
still had
youngin.
my, hey, I had like different situation because my original situation was
True,
LA, and
true.
then
I would say though for Minnesota, it would make sense that the average middle schooler is probably putting the skates on first before the
yeah,
cleats, if you get what I'm
elementary
saying.
schoolers putting skates on before the cleats, not middle school, elementary school kids.
I feel like in Minnesota, it should be a state law that once you're 5 years old, you must demonstrate an excellent skating ability, or else you need
But
to be held back
my
until you
my
can
favorite
do
part of it,
that.
I'm looking at the picture of this kid. And by the way, think about a kid in pads, helmet, everything, who's
Oh,
four
he's
foot four.
dripped out. Looks
No, no, but
great.
I'm just saying, think about the way that that looks on a 4 foot four, 49 pound kid.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no,
remember
I'm
how he looked
imagining.
in the oversized pads
Oh
and
no,
stuff?
I
Imagine how a
remember.
4 foot 5
Well,
kid
this
does.
that
But
like when I was
but
playing Pee Wee
also
football, I was only sixth grade, so I was 12,
49
11.
pounds.
Our weight limit was
And
120, and
you were
hey,
over it.
no confirmation, but our entire starting line may or may not have had an average weight of 140. May or may not have been true. I can
But
neither confirm nor deny that.
one, I need to know this kid's stats. All right, he's already got the nickname Juice in here. It's in his sign off is
Oh, I know he
Jason
is an amazing H back in the wing T offense. He's the
J.
motion guy. That's the pitch man in the triple option.
He's
He's the pitch man.
Jason Juice with air quotes Harris.
Good. I love. They already got the nickname. They're already working on the marketing and branding. I love it.
Like,
All
no, I
right, this is
respect that.
not a baby Gronk situation.
He's got a captain's patch on here too.
Good. How many stars? How many years has been a captain? Let me see. 3 stars on that patch. 2, 1. Don't tell me it's 1.
There's 4 stars.
So he's a 4-year star.
He's been playing
And
since he's 1 year
and
old.
if
He
the
got the
six
pads on.
if the 6 used correct, then
There's
then Juice is his nickname. Sorry, what was his nickname?
Yeah, Juice.
So Juice, there is a non-0% chance that Juice put a helmet on before he said his first word. There's a non-zero chance.
You know the Zenith helmet that makes you have the big ass dome.
Oh
helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the helmet he has.
Now, this may be an LA Pop Warner take, but I believe Zenith was like one of the most popular. I don't know why, because it doesn't look cool, but Zeniths were one of the most popular helmets for like all of our best players. So like Miller Moss was on my Pop Warner team.
That was when the concussions things were coming around and the Vices was not out yet though.
Concussions didn't exist until like 3 years ago. So I don't know what you're talking about.
They would give those kids Zeniths instead of like the Riddell like
speed. Well, the old Riddell Revo speeds, those are so unbelievably unsafe. I played that my whole
you and I both
career.
Did.
So unsafe. The Zenith is much safer than that.
Yeah, no, that's why they put the kids that were good in that.
Oh no, yeah, but also it wasn't just like all those kids like bought their own helmets. Like no confirmation on this. There's at least a 10% chance Miller Moss has been wearing the same exact model of helmet since his first year in high school, and they just repaint depending which team. No, he's a Zenith guy, true and true.
Vices right now. He's got the Vices like Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes looking helmet.
I wanna look and see.
He's got a Vices.
I'm gonna check. The computer is very slow when the zoom's open. Yeah, I apologize.
I can tell. But no, it's just I like transfer portal's already an issue, but this was just unbelievably funny. I think I had to bring it up. Like I get it, kids being kids. This is more of a parent thing, and it's just like every little thing adding to this just makes it so funny. Like you got the height and weight, obviously, all that stuff. But okay, 6U. You've got a captain for 4 years, which means he has to have been playing for 4 years. He's still eligible to play in 6U, which means he's not 6 years old.
I believe he's like 4 years old, and well, the season
out of the womb, he got the season.
Well, hold up. It's currently December. This season begins July, August, so he needs to be under 6 a year from now. So right now, today, Everett, he is 5 years old or younger.
Oh, God.
So I just need to put that out there. I will say though, where's he from? Also,
Florida, I believe. There's a lot of Jaguars
perfect
in here.
Good. Because I already know South Florida Express is already keeping their eyes on Juice.
I'm staring at the quote unquote offers. He's originally on.
Do you have college offers, or is it just Pop Warner teams? Please tell me they got like Miami and Florida State in there, please.
No, but here, no, just Pop Warner teams. This is not a baby Gronk situation, okay? But he goes,
yes, we need to make that clear.
Opportunity to thank the West Orlando Jags organization for allowing me to play on their 6U tackle football team. But during the 2024 season, but then it goes offers. His team is it's like how every Pop Warner team uses NFL, they just recolor it or some stuff.
Yeah, that are college teams.
Yeah, so his team is Jags, it's just colored in a different green, and I'm staring at the offers. There's an additional 2 Jags logos in the offers, the exact same thing in there. There's a Panthers logo in here, and then there's actually some cool ones, but I think it's a UCF Heights logo.
I mean, for reference, when I was playing middle school, our team ripped off West Virginia's uniforms, and at the time, this isn't true. My youth team existed for many years before me, but I was at the time convinced that we were copying West Virginia because at the time Geno Smith, Stedman Bailey, Tavon Austin were lining it up, and I was convinced that was why we were West Virginia, not the reason why. No, pretty sure the owner went to West Virginia, and so he just made it that. But
you know what? When you're a parent, you get to have those little victories. And
I'll say this: I will never be a youth Pop Warner football coach because I believe that will do more harm to me as a man than anything else I could do in my life. So I will never do that.
You imagine but you were the coach and you have your 5-year-old star come up, coach, I'm hitting the transfer portal. I'm going to this other team. Be like, dude.
No, even better. Not the parents, the agent who's the kid's cousin. The agent comes up demanding an NIL bump, and you're like, dude, it's literally illegal in the state of California to pay minors for athletic purposes. It's literally illegal.
It's not even like money. They're asking for like extra goldfish. Like that's not.
They want an increase in those benefits, and by benefits we mean like 2 orange slices at halftime instead of 1. Like,
oh man.
No, yeah, like this kid wants his own Gatorade at halftime. He doesn't want to share the squirt bottle with everyone.
He wants his name on the trophy, not participant.
Oh yeah. No, like he wants a personal team MVP trophy that's larger than the overall team trophy. He wants that for himself. But yeah, no. We are in wild times right now, but
yeah, I also want to open with the transfer portal, so that's where we'll probably
we'll get into that. But all right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. It is episode 279. And Juan Soto is the highest paid athlete in professional sports history. Max Fried is the highest paid left-handed pitcher in MLB history. Bill Belichick is the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels, and the first ever 12-team college football playoffs are set, Everett. Starting out with the transfer portal, of course. We want to talk about the playoff set, the first ever, but of course, perfect college football fashion. We're already worried about next year before this season has even ended yet. So yeah,
season's technically over for us, even though we get to play Florida. We don't play in the playoffs, unfortunately. But I mean, first of all, there's a lot of time between now and when the playoffs actually start. So the thought process is we're probably going to go through the playoffs.
Next week. Next week we'll go more in depth with predictions.
Yeah, but Grant, so this is more just college football generally speaking. But it is starting with the transfer portal. First of all, there's been a lot of stuff going on in Tulane transfer portal lands, specifically because our former quarterback now, Darian Mensah, hit the portal like the moment we lost the game. And the issue that came from that was, one, typically you get everybody's like, hey, like, thank you guys so much, like, for all the work, like, I appreciate it. Like, they put out, the same post as the 4'4", 49-pound kid, right? And he did not do that. He just stopped responding and just started taking tours. Couple things. There's layers to this, Grant. First of all, he's committed to Duke. All right. He committed to Duke, which some would kind of say is more of a lateral move, at least football-wise. Academically, I obviously know Duke is higher up. But Grant, his agent is fresh on the job, just started, former Chattanooga baseball player. What if I told you...
What, Chattanooga College or Chattanooga Lookouts, Dodgers minor league affiliate?
Chattanooga College.
Got it. Okay. Important distinction, but yes.
Yeah, what if I also told you that agents can make up to 20% on NIL?
Oh yeah, no, I heard about this. If there are any players out there and your agent is taking 20% of your NIL deals,
yeah. Also,
go find a new agent.
I'm just saying, generally speaking, go get your bag, do whatever. But at the same time, if your agent is brand new and you are making a lateral move career-wise, even if you can still get money because you can still got money from Tulane, it's kind of clear to me that this guy's trying to use that as making contacts with like Duke basketball and that kind of situation, and using you to expand his network. And that's not necessarily.
Oh, you're talking the agent wants to get involved with Duke basketball. Oh, okay.
that's not necessarily the way that I would want to go if I was a player. I don't know if I'd want to have that for the agent. But Grant, the other level to this, um, guess who comes to Yolan Stadium next year, Grant?
Duke. Oh, I saw it. Yeah, you guys are talking about this. Yeah,
Duke football comes to Yeoman Stadium next year. So that's just going to be interesting. Malik Murphy has a
what are
incredibly
your out of conference? What are your out of conference scheduled games? Duke. Do you still have an SEC? Okay, Ole Miss. It could be good next year.
I don't know what the rest of them are, but those are like the two big ones, I think. Okay. But Northwestern, I think we play as well.
That'll be a fun one. Do you know where that is? You may be in Wrigley. You may be playing in Wrigley.
I think we play there. I think
that may be in Wrigley.
Game. I think that's our week 1 game.
I'm pretty sure the new Northwestern Stadium will not be ready till 26. And just friendly reminder, earlier this year, Ohio State at Northwestern, they played that at Wrigley Field. Everett, if only there was another football field nearby in the city of Chicago, which also the president of that team happened to be the former Big Ten commissioner. You would think maybe the Chicago Bears president would offer Soldier Field for 2 former Big Ten teams that he used to be the commissioner for. You'd think he'd offer. No, hell no. If you think Kevin Warren cares about football, you're a moron if you believe that. Kevin Warren genuinely hates football. No, listen up, because you need to be aware of the state of your team.
No, they don't.
He hates football.
They should not be aware.
He hates it. And it makes complete sense with the McCaskey family because they also hate football. So, I mean, everything adds up.
Yeah, it's just, with the
Bears.
One thing I did see, though, somebody brought, I was like, we kind of need to dial back the amount of transfer portaling that's going on, because it's just like everybody's a 1-year rental right now, and that kind of just sucks. And I think the one thing I did see somebody say is like, okay, why don't we bring in transfer fees like in soccer? So now a team actually but like in this situation, like let's say for Darian Mensah, right? Tulane is the only team that offered him. He was like a 2-star recruit, and now he's gone, right? Like Tulane started him, built him into what he was like. Is like they should get some compensation to some degree for that. Like, and that would probably mitigate whether or not another team. It's the same thing as a buyout, really, in a sense, because if another school's going to buy your coach or get your coach or hire your coach, they do have to buy you out and they do have to pay the school. It should kind of apply the same way with athletes in that sense if they're trying to transfer somewhere else.
I agree. The one thing I'd say, take it a slight step further, and this would have to be like public information, like publicly known for this all to work, but I don't think we're that far away from this becoming the NFL and full contracts will be disclosed. Like, for example,
that I love the fact that was it Kansas? There was another. They were like, was it
for Jalen Daniels?
Jalen Daniels has agreed to extend his deal with Kansas
to
remain a play. Like what does that mean? Like why? It's not a contract deal.
Yeah, it's that Drewski mean. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I think we're probably going to get to a stage soon where those NIL deal contracts will be more publicly known. And I think it would be interesting if, let's say, like Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State. Like, let's say when he signed with Ohio State, it was a 1-year deal, meaning he can enter the transfer portal freely after the season. He's technically not under contract. He is now a free agent. Whereas on the other hand, Jeremiah Smith could have signed a 3-year deal with Ohio State. And if he enters the portal and leaves, then the rest of that contract is bought out.
You should just bring in Arb. You're fixed on the team for like your first 2 seasons, then you can negotiate or just become a free agent.
Oh, I think that's probably the best solution, is that wherever guys commit out of high school, you have to stay there for 2 years.
I think that's the best situation.
Yeah.
Because then you could still leave technically.
You can still go.
Like at that point, you'd be going the last year where it'd be like draft eligible then after that,
right? Yeah.
Anyways. So
Well, it's just more so a lot of guys in their initial commitments out of high school, like they're being sold false promises like you're going to start, you're going to play, and then they show up, and then it's like there are 6 redshirt seniors in front of me, all projected to get drafted. I am not sniffing the field this year. Those situations obviously happen a lot, but I think it would make that first commitment obviously more meaningful if you have to stay for another season.
Yeah, I think that also kind of stops. Everybody's like, oh, if you transfer, you should still have to like wait a year, like bring that.
I don't like that. No,
get rid of it. I don't like that. But this is kind of the opposite side of it, where it's now like you already have to stay, and then after that, okay, do whatever you want. But at least at that point, you've now built up a whole you've built up relationships. You've built up, you kind of know a little bit more about the program. You've been here, do whatever, right? And that makes the initial signing a little bit more meaningful. It's not just like, oh no, I can go whatever.
Question though, if a Washington situation, their head coach leaves, should the players be allowed to enter the portal, no punishment? If that was just their first season, the head coach dips, still have to stay.
The deal should be with the school, not the coach.
Well, it's the way I'm kind of looking is like the coach is their
the coach
boss.
Is why they recruited you, but like at that point though, like you're still a student athlete. Like
yes.
And I don't think that it would be fair to anybody really to just be like, oh, well, like coach is gone. I'm not going to be here anymore. Like still give a season. Like it's ultimately in that situation, it would probably be 1 year because you could either decommit at that point if you hadn't actually committed, or you come in and you would only have you just have 1 season. So it really wouldn't be that big of a deal either. Or you'd already have players who are past that 2-year deadline, they can leave anyway. So I don't really think that there should be an issue there. But I do think that if you have like a redshirt freshman, right, they shouldn't really be allowed to just get up and go. Like, like that kind of goes against the point of a lot of what college football is.
We're in a weird spot right now with the sport.
But Grant, here's the other thing in college football that I wanted to bring up. I wanted to talk to you about this. The OHIO Sportsmanship Act on Tuesday. I don't know if you saw this.
Yep, that's the only thing I've seen on Twitter today when I open it up.
If you are not familiar with this, the act would make it a felony offense to plant a flag at the center of the O in Ohio State Stadium. Grant, I would like your 2 cents on this policy.
So all right, let me start off with this. I forget who exactly. I think it's like a House of Representatives. So some politician proposed this. He represents some county in Ohio. I'm not entirely sure which one, but he is a Michigan grad, Michigan fan. He did this to troll Ohio State, as a joke. But that's beside the point. It's Michigan fans trolling. They have every right to. If I were in their shoes, my God, I'd be having a field day right now on Michigan if the roles were reversed. So I don't blame Michigan fans for any of it. But seeing the Ohio State fan reactions to this, and there are actually Ohio State fans out there who saw that and weren't embarrassed and were like, yeah, flag planting should be illegal. How deep of a hole do you want us to dig for ourselves? How big of a hole do you want us to dig for ourselves? I don't understand. How can you see that and not be embarrassed, shamed to be affiliated with Ohio State reading that? How can you even have the courage to say, I support the Ohio State Buckeyes after that? Does Ryan Day need to come out publicly and say, you know what, guys, I've actually been coaching for Michigan the last 4 years, and does he have to admit that for people to finally be like, oh, Ryan Day's not that good?
Yeah,
I mean, Everett, I say this a lot, but Everett, there's been one season. If the 12-team playoff existed our entire lives, there would have been one season that Ohio State didn't make the playoffs. The Luke Fickell, and that would have been the only year. 10-2 is the floor of Ohio State. Any fan out there say, well, get ready because we're going 500 next year if Ryan Day leaves. No, we aren't. What, you think we're going to lose to Wisconsin, Nebraska, and Rutgers? What?
Hey, Alabama thinks that you shouldn't schedule out of conference.
And hey, we have Everett. Think 2025 and 26. Ohio State has a Texas home and home. 27-28 Alabama home and home. 29-30 Georgia home and home. I literally said this when the 12-team playoff format got announced. Cancel that shit tonight. There's 0 point of playing the game. 0 point. The committee just showed 3 losses and you're gone. So why schedule a tough game that increases your chances of having 3 losses? Why?
I also think that was a different situation a little bit because the teams that they lost to were in conference.
Well, no, Alabama's is different. Their fans are just, I mean, hey, I'm down bad right now. Alabama fans, I think it'll take another 10 years for them to finally come to terms that they can't replicate what Nick Saban did. Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach of all time. That's never going to be replicated. The success he had.
Speaking of greatest football coaches of all time, Grant, UNC has officially hired Bill Belichick. We talked about this a little bit before we were recording, just about whether or not Bill Belichick would actually be a good college coach. I'm kind of under the impression, like, I'm just thinking about the shit he probably dealt with Mac Jones when Mac Jones was coming out of school to the Patriots, and I feel like there's just going to be like one kid's going to say one wrong thing, and Bill's just going to be like, no, this is not for me. I'm over it. I'm done.
I don't really see it. I think it's going to work out pretty well. I think it's going to work out pretty well.
I get the managing side of things. Like, yeah, him, like, he gets to be his own general manager, which the way he likes to run things anyways. Like, cool. But I don't really know if he's a whole big, like, I'm just thinking of Bill Belichick flying around, going to, like, high school kids' houses and stuff.
Everett, he's never going to visit a kid's house. Ever. That's Steve's job. That's his OC's. That's not his. He's not doing recruiting. But like, it's North Carolina we're talking about here. If he goes 10-2 next year, oh my fucking God, Bill, what? What?
I'm just waiting for him to pull some shit out of
the expectations are so low that
I'm waiting for him to pull some shit out of his bag and it pans him on the TV and he's just smirking. Like he pulls some special teams thing out like he did a couple of years ago. Like there's gonna be something. He's gonna do something. He's already been looking in that college football rules book for something.
Well, yeah, he had I don't know the exact terminology used, but I believe when he was interviewing for the job, he showed them a 400-page football.
No, not when he was interviewing. When they were being interviewed by him to see if he.
That was it. Okay, that was it. Yeah, I believe it was a 400-page football manifesto. Like the Michigan manifesto, but just the football manifesto. This applies to any football team at all levels. But apparently it was a 400-page journal, novel, textbook. And they went through that with the board. But Everett, it appears as if North Carolina read that 400-page almanac and they accepted the terms. Rumor has it, North Carolina will increase their NIL budget from $4 million to $20 million, which is currently what Ohio State paid for the most expensive roster in college football history. So right now, North Carolina, in theory, is the top dog in the NIL space with Ohio State.
I mean, it could be. There's a lot of work.
That could make a difference. I don't know. That might be able to change some ideas.
Yeah, I will also just like to say, hey, John Summerall turned down the job that Bill Belichick took. Just want to say that. Just want to throw that out there.
There was a big thing. So this morning, Brian Hartline interviewed for the West Virginia head coaching job. The entire Ohio State message boards for about 4 hours. It was back and forth between we're not pathetic losers that we want to ban flag planting, between that and if Brian Hartline leaves and takes the West Virginia head coaching job, we're all going on strike for a year from watching our team. So we were going back and forth. I heard that after Brian Hartline's interview, West Virginia immediately took him off their finalist shortlist for the head coaching job, which might be a bad sign for the long-term career of Brian Hartline when it comes to him potentially getting a head coach job anywhere. That's not looking likely right now. But it appears as if the more things change, the more things stay the same. And West Virginia will be returning with Rich Rodriguez as their head coach. Rich Rod, Michigan legend, West Virginia legend. That will be interesting. Get ready for the greatest show on turf in West Virginia, folks. Get ready for it. It's coming. Coming to a city near you. Well, that's big, though. That Brian Hartline's not leaving. All right. We'll take that. At least one more year of Jeremiah Smith, and we'll do the portal thing next year.
You still want to fire Ryan Day?
Yeah.
So if he fires, you think that Brian Hartline stays?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
He'll stay as associate offensive coordinator. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, Grant. I don't know. Like, do we want to talk about anything regarding playoffs? Or should we just get right in the NFL?
Well, just here, briefly overview of the playoffs. Now, I don't believe this should have happened in terms of who deserves to get in, because at the end of the day, 12 teams. It should be the most deserving. Teams shouldn't be given fourth lives when you stumble that much in the regular season. However, as a selfish college football purist, I'm very disappointed Alabama did not get that last spot. We could have had just the most iconic playoff ever in terms of brand names. Ever.
This is my brand names, yeah. But this is the thing is, college football, yeah, there's brand, but college football is also about the fact that anybody could do anything. And like that's a part of college football.
Anybody can do anything in college football. That's NFL. Any given Sunday.
But college sports in general is that
college basketball.
But when you get these big tournaments, it's kind of that same way. Because I'm thinking about this in the same way that you have March Madness. Like you want to have those quote unquote Cinderella teams that you can cheer for. Like in that situation.
Oh no, you definitely want that.
Georgia to win the championship.
Oh no, you definitely want the underdog.
This is my general perspective. All right. I think that the 12 seed should remain fixed as G5 conference champion or at large if there's just every conference championship G5 is back, right? But those first 4 seeds, Grant, that are currently fixed to be conference champions and you're going to seed them that way, should just go to the 4 best teams. I don't think the conference champion should be sitting that way. Because in the most part, it still will work out the same way. Like, okay, SEC winner will be there, Big Ten winner will be there, cool, whatever. But in this situation, Boise State and ASU should not have a bye, in my opinion. They should have to play. They should have to play. Like, I don't think that.
Well, yeah, no, the conference champions buys were an awful idea in practice. I was reading up a lot on this. A big reason why those conference champ buys were kept is because the networks who have the rights to the conference championship games, they want that time slot to be valuable. They don't want, because of the playoff, well, now the conference championship game, that one Saturday of TV time is now just not valuable. They want to make sure those stay valuable.
I still think that those slots will be valuable because, like, if you win the conference championship, you still should automatically get in, but I don't think it should automatically mean that you get a bye, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah, no, there's problems. Well, I was hearing a proposed or a proposal where they were suggesting that instead of a conference champion weekend where the number 1 team and number 2 teams in the conference play for the winner, instead you have the 3rd and 4th ranked teams in the conference play for a spot in the playoff. Now, here, this is also the next thing. So this will be with an increased playoff. So we only have 2 years of the 12-team playoff. When they go to 16 teams, the Big Ten and SEC will not accept the new deal unless they have confirmation from the College Football Playoff Committee that the Big Ten and SEC have 4 teams guaranteed in the playoff each. So no matter what happens, every team in the SEC could all finish 6-6. 4 SEC teams are getting in this playoff. So that's what the Big Ten and SEC are doing.
They need to have confirmation of that because it's going to happen either way. Just because it'd be like in this situation, be like, all right, Bama strength schedule, they get in there anyways. Like,
well, we'd think that. Well, but like the SEC and bit like they don't want that to be up for uncertainty. Like they want it set in stone, written down. So when they do their media deals, like we have 4 teams in. So they want that.
But I just think that like arguing, like I understand more in that perspective. You're Ohio State, you're big, whatever. Like you're Big Ten or SEC being like, okay, let's have the 3 and 4 and 5 teams play for that bid or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
A close record. Like I get it then, but it also just makes no sense because let's say the 5 team is 3-1 or something, or the 5 team is 1-3 in conference play. I guess that wouldn't really make sense. Like, but let's say that there's more than a 1-loss gap in between the 4th and the 5th.
Okay.
Like, if I'm now making those 2 teams play, that's bullshit because even if they win that game, they'd still be behind.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you mean.
So I think all of that is just dumb, and also you can't have it be set to just the Big Ten or the SEC. Like,
well, the Big Ten and SEC they can just not.
No. I'm saying having it be that a 4/5 conference ranking teams play each other is only for the Big Ten and only for the SEC, and no other conference. Like it just starts getting messy. And I think overcomplicating it is why we have an issue in the first place. Because we decided to overcomplicate it and we're like, hey, how do we make this more? Oh, well, let's make it so the first 4 teams are all on bye and all of them are conference champions. It can be anybody.
Yeah, starting off with a 12-team expansion was just like, what? Let's just start off with 8. Okay. Yeah, let's not go big here. Let's start off small.
In like all honesty, right now, that's also where you get interesting.
Oh, I was saying also, by the way, with that proposed structure, I think that might be an awful idea. I think they're under that format. There could be some teams that played 19 football games in one season. So no, it doesn't work.
But no, like also, it does get interesting to me. Like in this situation, okay, Georgia won the SEC, right? Georgia, great team, but like, if Carson Beck can't play, if Carson Beck's UCL is fucked, yeah, they should still make the playoffs.
It is. He's not going to be playing in these playoffs.
If they should still make the playoffs, but does that mean that they should automatically deserve a top 4 seed? No, it doesn't. And I don't think that
Georgia?
Think about it this way, right? I'm saying those first 4 seeds that are buys right now are set. Every conference champion gets one of those buys. Those top conference champions get those buys, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the best way to go about it is those buys go to the best 4 teams. And typically speaking, they will be the conference champions.
Yeah.
But in a situation like this where Georgia won the conference championship, but now Carson Beck is not playing, right? They should not be on a bye in that sense to me. Like they should.
Oh no. Georgia deserves to be on a bye right now. I think Gunnar Stockton improves the Georgia offense, Everett.
He also got killed.
He's playing?
Okay, well that's
he's suiting up.
But my bigger point. Let's take FSU from last year, right? In this scenario, in this situation, FSU would have a bye for winning the ACC, going 13-0, right? But
last year,
I'm saying take that team, put them in this year.
Sure, okay.
Think about it, whatever, right? In that scenario, Florida State would have a bye. Right, they'd be 13-0, but we clearly know that they are not one of the top teams anymore because their quarterback is dead, not literally, but figuratively, and
essentially he is.
Their other quarterbacks can't throw, so they, in my mind, that means
that's the difference.
They shouldn't get a bye week because they just won the championship game when all the other teams in the ACC suck.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. No.
So in that kind
it should go to the 4 highest ranked teams.
It should just be the highest ranked team, and those champions should still, if conference champion. You still make the playoffs, but you shouldn't be guaranteed a bye.
Now, that last part is where I'm going to slightly push back. What if for the 12-team playoff, we just have the 12 highest ranked teams? What?
Well,
maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe I'm the crazy one in the room. Maybe.
I still think the 12 seed should be G5 or at large.
For representation.
Well, representation, but also like generally speaking, if you think about it, like, yeah, Boise State got a lot of hype this year, right? Like they're the 8 seed right now. But generally speaking, other teams that are good, like take Tulane, for example, it is very hard to make waves in a sense if you're not scheduling and playing number one Oregon. Like the reason why Boise is ranked as high as they are is because they got presence when they played Oregon and they played them close. If they played,
but yeah, that definitely helps them.
If they played Notre Dame like NIU did, if NIU continued the rest of the season doing exactly what they did, they wouldn't be as highly ranked as Boise State is right now because.
Wait, so if Northern Illinois ran the table post Notre Dame,
let's say that they lost closely to Notre Dame the same way that,
but we're 11-1.
Yeah, they wouldn't be ranked 8th like Boise State is.
Well, it'd be the same scenario.
It'd be the same scenario, but the reason why I'm saying Boise State is ranked so highly within that they would be in the top 12 anyways without the conference champion or like 12 seed auto bid, whatever you want to call it.
Honestly, I don't even know what the legit just final rankings were. Just
that would be because that game with Oregon, and not every G5 team is going to play in Oregon, right? So for representation,
so this year, Boise State, if just you rank the 12 teams, Boise State would be the 9 seed going on the road to Indiana round 1. I think that's fair.
I get that, but this is my point. Just take Boise State out of it. They don't exist. All right. Let's say in their place, the G5 team, let's take NIU, right? Let's say NIU.
And they're 11-1.
Let's say they lost to Notre Dame in the same fashion.
By 1 point.
By 1 point walk-off field goal, right? They run the rest of the table. I guarantee you the committee is not ranking them 9th in that situation. Even though the rest of the thing kind of played out the same way, they're not going to rank them 9th because comparison-wise, Boise was taking the number 1 team in Oregon to the wire. This would be
I'd say if Notre Dame was 12-0 though, they'd be the number 2 team in the country.
But the bigger point is the bigger point is there are teams where a lot of these G5 schools.
I get what you overall mean. Boise State is the most well-known G5 team.
But it's also just saying a lot of these teams, they might schedule, they might schedule a P4 team, but the P4 team might be Kentucky, or it might be it might be a USC.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Right? And they might win those games, but they're not
Purdue.
They're not better than Purdue. Let's say like a Boston College, right? Or
that's perfect. Boston College is the perfect example.
Like a team that's good but not great, right? And they're going to beat them, but they're not going to get notoriety for that from the committee because the team is not in that same realm, and that's going to be the way it is every year. So I don't think it's fair because the scheduling capabilities of those G5 teams are not going to be the same as P4, and on that regard, they should be allowed to have that last slot because that doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to beat these G5 or P4 teams. Clearly, we've been able to see that in the bowl season and in the playoffs, or not the playoffs, but and in this season as it is, G5 teams can beat P4 teams. We need to give them the opportunity to do so, and I think once it's fine. But Grant,
I'd say we could do that. Just real quick with the format, like right now, there is no greater draw in this field than the Penn State Nittany Lions with the 6th seed. They get SMU at home, and then they get Boise State, and then they will likely play the winner of Georgia and Notre Dame after that.
They don't choke.
Right now.
Don't choke.
No, yeah, of course. But from a coach's perspective, you look at that, you see their path, and then on the other hand, you look at Oregon, who has to play the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee.
True. No, true. No, the reseeding already should be a thing, but here's my other thing.
Yeah, reseeding. Let's start there. That's not a crazy concept. The NFL does it. It's not.
I'm just saying.
Just reseed.
There could be a situation here where they fall into that little pit trap of looking ahead to games instead of playing games, and you lose a crap game.
I mean, that could happen. Like, I would, it would be the biggest upset in college football history if Penn State lost to SMU or Boise State. It would be the biggest upset in college football history.
It's a non-0% chance that it happens, and that non-0% chance is higher than 10. So,
I'm cool with that. That's like, hey, but
I'd put it.
If I'm Penn State and I get a 90% chance to win my first 2 games compared to Oregon.
Oh no, not the first 2 games. No. I'd probably put it that there's a 25 to 30% chance that between those 2 games they falter and they lose in total. They might get through one, but they lose the second. And I would put it at a 25% chance that might happen.
Oh, I think you're giving a lot of credit over to Ashton.
Hey.
I'd say there's a solid James 8% Franklin
is
chance.
Not good against ranked teams. He is bad against
against Ohio State, Michigan, and Oregon.
True, but still, historically speaking, also he's never been in this position. So.
Oh no, true, but
we'll find out.
SMU hasn't, Boise State hasn't, Notre Dame hasn't. The only guys who have been in this position is Ohio State and Georgia. I guess Texas. They made it last year and lost to Washington.
Gross. Well, that case in point, SMU could do it. If Washington, it's a little bit of a different Washington team, but if they could do it, you could do it. All right. Little BS.
Michael.
Grant, let's go to the NFL.
Jalen McMillan had a brace over the weekend.
Let's go to the NFL and wrap up with this quick. First of all, Grant, I just want to say one thing only. There's been a lot of talk about.
We're gonna escape to one song and one song only.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk about Sam Darnold and the Vikings retaining him after this season. And I think the one thing that everybody forgets is, Sam Darnold's been great. There's a reason why he's been great, and it's because of Kevin O'Connell. And
keep going.
I think that, obviously people are like, he's doing great. Like, keep him, whatever, 30, like you should sign him. He's doing great. People are discounting the fact that the reason this is happening is because of Kevin O'Connell and that he's going to be able to do the exact same thing with J.J. McCarthy at, I don't know, $40 million cheaper per year. And he looked good in the preseason too. And I'm not saying that's going to be exactly how his career plays out or how next year plays out, but he looked good. And I trust the same guy. Before the season, everybody was like, no, not going to be able to do it. Sam Darnold's going to suck. Not going to be good. And Kevin O'Connell brought it around and fixed him, right? Why would you not give the same account, the same credibility to his ability to do that with J.J. McCarthy? If he's able to do it and you had that same process mindset before the start of the season, why can't you do it now? And the bigger thing is, okay, you want to say if this was J.J. McCarthy's last season and he was doing this well, wouldn't you want to sign an extension? Yeah, I would. But the difference is this is a 1-year loaner, not J.J. McCarthy on a rookie deal going for extension. And 2, in that situation, there is no first-round rookie quarterback and a monumentally cheaper deal behind him that you have the original anticipation of using as your career start. So I wanted to kind of clear the air on that a little bit because I've seen so many people be like, oh, you should re-sign Sam Darnold. I'll be stupid to not re-sign Sam Darnold. And they completely discount the fact that Kevin O'Connell is quite literally the reason why they're in that situation. And before the season, nobody thought that this would be the situation. So that's credit to where credit is due. And Kevin O'Connell's ability to coach Sam Darnold to be where he is.
Well, also, help me out here. I do not remember. Was Kevin O'Connell the head coach for Minneapolis Miracle?
No, that was Zimmer.
Okay. But just overall, like Vikings, they quite literally within the last 5 years had a quarterback take down. No, I know. But I'm saying like, just because Darnold's having an excellent year, like, that doesn't mean the Vikings are going to stick to him long term. Like, no, they got a quarterback take them to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, Cousins next year. Keenum did that. Yeah, and we had Cousins next year, but also like last year, like credit where credit's due too. Like Kevin O'Connell coached so well with Joshua Dobbs that they went on a winning streak and people thought they were a playoff team until the wagon fell off. The wheels fell off the wagon a little bit. And then Nick Mullins came in, and Nick Mullins was still making Justin Jefferson look like one of the best receivers in the NFL. Still doesn't matter, just Justin Jefferson. But like was able to get a quarterback to still throw the ball accurately and play well enough where his offense did not decease at the second sight of bad quarterback play.
Yeah, I mean Kevin O'Connell's I have not looked at this all year. Is he the runaway favorite for Coach of the Year?
I don't believe so.
I have no clue. I would guess it'd be
bullshit.
Him, Dan Quinn.
It's him, Dan Quinn, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I guess Tomlin. Maybe Harbaugh. Yeah, maybe.
And Lions guy, Dan Campbell. But I'm like, hey, everybody thought the Vikings were going to be in contention for the first overall pick this year, and they're a potential Super Bowl team right now. And that you got to give that. But last week, Grant, I went 7-6. You flipped the script a little bit. I believe you are in the lead now. I'm 123 and 191.
Yeah, so I'm 125 wins total.
2-game lead on me. We are coming down to the wire, though. Week 15. I think this is the closest we have ever been come week 15. This is also the best that we've ever done come week 15. I'm sitting at 64.4%. I believe you're
just being above 63% right now. We are both going to finish over 60% for the first time in this podcast history. So that alone, we have already met the mark.
But Grant, here's the schedule for this week. All right. Tomorrow night, we're recording this on Wednesday. Rams at 49ers, Sunday, noon slate. We have Chiefs at Browns, Bengals at Titans, Commanders at Saints, Ravens at Giants, Cowboys at Panthers, Jets at Jaguars, Dolphins at Texans. Mid-afternoon slate, we got Colts at Broncos, Bills at Lions, great game. Steelers at Eagles, great game. Patriots at Cardinals, and Bucks at Chargers. Sunday night is Packers at Seahawks. Monday, we got a doubleheader. We have Bears at Vikings, whiteout game for Minnesota, by the way, with white helmets and
with white helmets. Okay, you're gonna have to send me. You're gonna have to send me a picture of those. All right.
And then Falcons at Raiders. You tell me which game out of those two you want. Okay, Grant. These are my picks.
Sign me up for Bears Vikings of those two. Sign me up.
Picks. Yeah, it's our winter whiteout. I think we're doing white end zones and shit too.
So you're not messing around. This is a serious rebranding for the week. Okay, all right.
Rams, Chiefs, Bengals, Commanders, Ravens, Panthers, Jets, Texans, Broncos. Let's go Buffalo, Steelers, Cardinals, Chargers, Packers, Vikings.
All right, so some changes in the late slate. I got Rams, Chiefs, Bengals, Commanders, Ravens, Cowboys, Jets, Texans, all home. Broncos, Lions, Eagles, Cardinals, Chargers. Packers Sunday night, Vikings, Falcons. My WTF was Rams Niners. That one, I sat there back and forth. I just picked Rams because that offense last week, it seems like preseason, what I thought the Rams offense could be, they've shown that to me. And the Niners, I don't think Isaac Garenda is playing. So we may be back to Deebo Samuel running back.
Also, the Rams, whenever they play the 49ers at the end of the year, every single time, especially when the 49ers have been in the position to they're in playoff position,
that's the other thing.
The Rams just nope, I'm coming in here. I'm going to spoil it.
Yeah. Now the other game that I had to go with them because I've picked them for 9 weeks straight and they just win. Steelers at Eagles. I don't know the exact stat off the top of my head, but it's just a general rule when it comes to the NFL and Mike Tomlin. Whenever the Steelers are a big favorite or a favorite in a game they should clearly win, they'll lose. And whenever they're an underdog in a game that everyone thinks they don't have a shot at winning, they win. So I love that Steelers pick. I went Eagles. They've just been doing me too many favors recently. I can't go against them, but I love that pick. At minimum, play of the week is Steelers plus 5.5. That's play of the week.
Pickens might be out too, so we'll see.
I do not care. Steelers are going to find a way. That's just how this works. I do not care who's on their team. They'll find a way. Justin Fields can be X for the game.
My interesting one was Bills and Lions. Josh Allen's just playing too well.
He is
he should be.
2 weeks ago, he threw a touchdown to himself, and then he just put up 6 tubbies last week.
It is crazy to me that I don't think that he is the outright favorite to win MVP right now.
Pretty sure it's still Lamar.
Which is I'm gonna be honest. Lamar is
It's
not.
crazy. It's
Lamar's
crazy.
doing Lamar's doing Lamar things, but it's not what Josh Allen is currently doing.
Yeah, I think stats, numbers, like efficiency numbers, Lamar is the MVP. But when we're looking at impact on your team and the offense, like, hey,
Yeah,
Dalton
what?
Kincaid has been out for like a month. Like the offense is Josh Allen and James Cooks. Let's go, boys.
And last week James
And Khalil Shakir.
James Cook had like 17 rushing yards. He had 4.4 fantasy points. I was pissed, but
oh yeah, it's
in that situation, and they were still about to beat.
Yeah, but right now they won. They won.
Who they play last week?
Are we talking about Chiefs a couple weeks ago?
Chiefs? Or no, that was 2 weeks ago. Who they play last week? No, the Rams. They lost last week to the Rams.
Oh, I thought you were talking 2 weekends ago.
No. But 44-42, and James Cook did nothing.
Oh yeah, no. Like to the Bills, like the strategy on defense is you crowd the box, you shut down James Cook. He's not going to do anything. Josh Allen, you have to Superman win the game, and he usually does that.
Yeah, he can do that.
It's the right strategy to defend the Bills. Like just take James Cook out of the game. But the downside is Josh Allen is Superman, and you're relying on him to make mistakes, and he's not doing Josh Allen mistakes anymore. I
don't know why, Grant, but for whatever reason, I'm just feeling a Browns upset. I'm feeling a Jameis Winston just get in there like the crab claw.
Browns are playing Chiefs.
Yeah, oh yeah, I can see it.
This is the little upset. This is the rattiest line of the week. Okay, one of the smallest spreads of the week, of course, is Chiefs at Browns. Vegas is begging on their knees for you to take Chiefs -4.5. They are sitting there just please do it, please take it. Browns are going to cover this game. They're going to a line that low. Like I smell something fishy. I smell something fishy, Everett.
Jameis Winston comes out like 1-2 games a season. And
it's also been a while since Mahomes have thrown just an awful interception in the first half to just a triple cover. It's been a while since he's done that, so it'll happen.
When Jameis is starting, typically, it's just chaos. But there is those 1 or 2 games in the chaos where it's just, oh, that's why he was number 1 over.
Yeah, I mean, as Littlefinger said, chaos is a ladder, baby, and Jameis likes to climb. So get me in on the chaos when it comes to that.
Lord save me from the pick sixes and the prayer.
Yeah, but I mean, we actually have a ton of great games. Like Rams Niners is a great Thursday night game. I think Dolphins Texans is actually a pretty entertaining matchup. Just Texans have been skidding a little bit. Dolphins, they're not the world beaters on offense that they were last year, but the Dolphins are much different today than they were 2 months ago.
No, they are. And Tua statistically is having one of the most accurate seasons, I think, ever for a quarterback. He's got like 78% completion percent.
That is amazing. The other thing I will point out about Tua, though, is I believe he has one of the lowest average depth of targets in the NFL.
Yeah.
When they played the Packers on Thanksgiving, I believe he had an average depth of target of 3.8 yards in the air.
Grant, look at the. I just sent you the white helmets. Just
okay. Let me see
the little live reaction of looking at that.
All right, I'm excited. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna say on these helmets, it's not gonna be the purple horns on the side of the normal helmets. It's gonna be an outline of the horns, an outline in purple of the horns. They're gonna find a way to get some yellow in there. I don't know how. I'm gonna look now. I'm looking now.
Okay, all right. Let's get that live reaction.
I hit it right on the head. I saw the vision, and they executed on my vision. Thank you, Minnesota Vikings equipment manager staff. Who would be in charge of?
I don't think that there's
uniform design.
There, but
forget the yellow detail, but the outline of the horns, I hit that shit right on the head. All right, those are beautiful. Those are gorgeous. Who's in the second picture there? Is that our king?
I think that's Johnny Munt.
Okay, I thought it was another first guy and last one out DB on the Vikings that may or may not be compared to Troy Polamalu online. No, not him.
That is not Harrison Smith.
Yeah. Those look great. I mean, Darnold in that picture looks excellent with that helmet. Oh my God.
Crispy.
That looks
Crispy.
Wait, is that a camera on his helmet?
Yeah. So, fun fact: this entire season, ever since JJ got hurt, Sam Darnold has won a basically a GoPro on his helmet, and
In
JJ
game
literally.
too?
No. But
Oh,
in
is this for
practice,
JJ to see his eyes?
JJ literally just
That's kind of goated. That's kind of genius, not gonna lie.
yeah,
Did not know that. That's a detail.
yeah. And people are like, "Hey, resign Darnold. Do you see what we're doing for JJ's future here where he's hurt?"
I mean, instead of re-sign Darnold, I think you should just like copy and paste his brain, and then just like give that to JJ as like reference points. You could just pull from Darnold's brain directly. It's just on a computer.
Yeah.
Just instead of Chat GPT, it's Chat Darnold. You just ask Sam's brain any question you have.
December Darnold or December is the other one.
That's better. December is better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. December's yeah. Yeah. And it's like that. I mean, I know we're referencing Sam Darnold there, but like if I heard that, just someone just drop that mid sentence, just say it again for me. December. That sounds like a European motorcycle company. Like that sounds like an official, like legit company name right there.
Yeah.
We may need to file a trademark or a copyright on that. We should get royalties. But yeah, we got a very, very good NFL slate. I think that's gonna wrap us up. We'll wrap up real quick with just quick baseball talk. Juan Soto is the highest paid athlete in professional sports history. $765 million over 15. Overall MLB perspective, taking my Dodger fandom out of it. He is the best hitter I've ever watched in my life. He's the most terrifying hitter I've ever watched in my life. There's no player that the Dodgers have gone up against in the postseason that I've been more afraid of than Juan Soto. But with that being said, he is a minus glove, minus legs. He's not very fast. And in my opinion, if you're going to give out your 300 million plus contracts, that guy's going to need to produce more than just hitting. Because
Grant, just for comparison's sake, the contract Mike Trout got when he was 27, 326 million for Mike Trout, who's statistically better in every category Juan Soto at. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact inflation, but I know that Juan Soto's deal is worth more, including inflation, than Trout's was if it happened today. But still, regardless, $765 million. Zero of it's deferred, Everett. And also, there's an opt-out clause on Soto's side where after 5 seasons, he can either opt out or remain with the Mets. And if he chooses to remain with the Mets, his per year contract increases from 51 to 55 million per year. So if he opts back in over the last 10 years, he will make an additional 40 million. So that would make his contract worth $805 million. Yeah, no trade clause. That doesn't mean he won't get traded though. But Soto's going to be a Met forever. He is most likely going to be the greatest player in the history of the Mets organization. But just seeing the Yankee reactions to this and having them have their this is the first time maybe in the history of these two teams where the New York Mets were big brother and the Yankees were little brother. This might be the only time ever that the New York Mets have directly beat the Yankees in anything, and it's for Juan Soto. But right now the Yankees are kind of on a panic move right now. They're now trying to sign, well, they just signed Max Fried to the highest paid lefty pitcher in MLB history. They did that first, but apparently, Everett, I'm hearing they are now scrambling last second to acquire Kyle Tucker from the Houston Astros, who is an excellent baseball player. If the Yankees got him, it may be an overall replacement with Soto because Kyle Tucker's a plus glove. It may just
offensively,
be,
you got to figure some stuff out, but yeah.
Yeah, he's not as good as Soto offensively, but he still had a 993 OPS last year, so still pretty good hitter.
Not
pretty
bad,
good.
but it's not Juan
It's not
Soto.
Soto, but
you're texting me like this guy's getting a hit.
Oh yeah, no, 765 million is so much money I can't even fathom it. Like Shohei got 700 million because it's two players in one. He
yeah.
he just got 765 million.
Crazy.
Yeah, gonna be an interesting time, but yeah.
But we'll probably wrap up here. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, raise 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterboy. You can follow me and Graham on Twitter at Everett and at Waterboy Graham. We post new episodes every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So make sure you check us out there as well. And on we post exclusive content on Instagram and on TikTok. So check that out as well. With that, we'll see you guys next episode. Waterboy's out.